So right now we're solving multi-step equations with variables on both sides, and we are looking at the handout we got in class today. We did the first problem in class together, but I started recording now, so we're looking at problem 2. We're still using our pink cell phone, our little helper, our don't call me after midnight. And the first step it says to do is to distribute. Well, on number 2, I don't have any parentheses. So I will skip the distributing step and move right on down to combining like terms. So I like to go through mine and underline in my like terms. So on the left-hand side, I have numbers and then I have my K's. Well, I just have my 4, and then under my K, I put squiggly lines. So I have 6K and 8K. So I'm just going to carry down my -4 plus, and then I'm going to add 6K plus 8K. That's 14Ks altogether. Equal to, and then I look at the right-hand side and combine like terms. Well, on that side, I just have numbers and Ks again, but there's just 2 terms, so there's nothing to combine, so I carry that down again. My next step says to move my variable using inverse operations. Now, on the first problem in class, we kind of did 2 steps at once. I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to go through the moving of the variable and then do the adding or subtracting and then the multiplying or dividing. On that first problem, we moved the variable and added or subtracted at the same time from our steps on our phone. But this time, I'm going to take it step by step. So the first thing it says to do is move my variable. And how I determine which side I pick as my variable side is I look at my 2 K's, so I got 14 and -7. I pick the greater of the 2. So in this case, it's going to be the left-hand side. That's my variable side. I'm going to move my K's to the left-hand side. I'm going to call my other side the number side. So I want to move my 7K from the right-hand side because it doesn't belong. It's not a number. It's a K. So I'm going to add 7K, and then I go across my fence, and I add 7K there as well. Canceling them out from the right-hand side, carry down my -4, carry down my equal sign. Now I have -4 plus, and then my 14K plus my 7K gives me 21K. Now it's a 2-step equation like we practiced yesterday. Again, on the left-hand side, I have numbers and K's. I only want my variables on that side. We called that the variable side up here. So I need to get rid of this -4. So to do that, +4. +4. I want it to cancel to be 0. Those go away. That's just a 0. I'm left with 21K equals -4 plus +4 is just a 0. Divide by 21. Divide by 21, K equals 0. 0 divided by 21 is 0. Okay, so we're looking at problem number 6 now. Again, we have our pink phones right next to us. I have mine even sitting here next to me. And we're going to go through that list. Always start at the top. First thing says to distribute. Lucky us again, no parentheses here. Combine our like terms. I'm going to draw my fence before I even begin, and I'm going to look on the left-hand side and look at my like terms there. I have, again, my numbers, and I have my n's. Number, n, n. And then I go to the right-hand side, number, n. My 2 on my left-hand side has nothing to be combined with, so I'm just going to carry that down. And then I have -2n minus 2 more n's. Remember, you keep the sign with it that's in front of it. So this is technically a keep, change because it's subtraction. I have -2n. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to change my minus to addition, and then I change my 2n to -2n. -2n plus -2n is -4n. So I'm going to put plus in parentheses -4n. You could also just put 2 minus 4n, whichever works for you. Then on the right-hand side, there's no like terms to be combined. So I'm going to just carry that down. Now here comes the tricky part. Picking which side we call our variable side and which side we're going to call our number side. I have -4n and -3n. Remember, I want us to pick the bigger of the two, but when you have negative numbers, so I have a -4n right here and a -3n, technically my -3 is bigger than my -4 because it's closer to 0. So in this case, call it your variable side on the right, your number side on the left. So now I need to move my variable. Well, on my number side, I got a variable over there that doesn't belong. I have a -4n or a -4n. Well, to get that to 0, I need to add 4n to cancel it. Yes. See you later, alligator. Carry down my 2, carry down my equal sign. -5's it's not being combined with anything. And then I have -3 plus 4, -3n plus 4n. So if I have -$3, I'm in the hole $3, but I get paid $4, I'm ahead $1. So plus 1n. Now I have a number on my right-hand side. So this is my next step, add or subtract. This is where the adding comes in, because this -5 needs to be canceled and moved to the number side. It doesn't belong on my variable side. Those cancel, carry down my 1n, or I could just call that n. You don't need to call it 1n. I'm going to erase my 1. Let's call it n, equals 7. Look, we're done. We didn't need to multiply or divide. That one was nice to us. So we're looking at problem number 3 here. Again, using my pink phone, going through my checklist. The first thing says to distribute. In this case, I don't have any parentheses, so I don't need to distribute. And then I'm gonna see if there's any like terms to combine. On my left-hand side of my fence, I have my variable, and then I have my number. And on the right-hand side, again, I have my variable and my number. So there's no like terms to combine. So I get to move straight down to move variable using inverse operations. I'm gonna look, I have 8n and I have 7n. My 8n is greater, so I'm gonna call that my variable side, call my other side my number side. So now I go to my number side and I wanna move the variable over there. So I gotta move this 7n. It's a positive 7n, so I'm gonna subtract 7n. Subtract 7n. Those cancel. Remember, I can only subtract n's from n's and numbers from numbers with my adding and subtracting. So that leaves me with 8 take away 7. That's just 1n minus 7. Remember, there's that technically the imaginary 1 here, but I'm not going to include that. Equals, my n's canceled, and I'm left with my -14. Now it's a one-step equation. N minus 7 equals 14, -14. So I skip, I don't skip, just kidding. I do add or subtract. This case, here's my variable. I need to move everything else. So I'm gonna add 7. Leaves me with just an n, carry down my equal sign, -14 plus 7. I have more negatives than I do positives, so I know it's going to be a negative, and the difference between 14 and 7 is 7. So my final answer is n equals -7. So we're looking at problem number 4, and I'm looking if I have any parentheses. I do not need to distribute, but when I go to combine my like terms, I'm looking on the left-hand side. I have variables and numbers, and on the right-hand side, I have b's and more variables. So on the left-hand side, I just carry everything down. There's no like terms to be combined. But on the right-hand side, I have -5b minus 4b. This is a keep, change problem. I'm gonna keep my -5b, change this, and change that. So change it to addition, and then the 4b becomes negative. So now I have -5b plus -4b. It's a bunch of negatives, so I'm gonna call that -9b. b. Now I ask myself, moving my variable. So on this problem, this is a special case where I'm not going to look at which variable's bigger. Do you see the right-hand side over here already has b's on it? I don't want to move these b's over here and then have to move these numbers over here. That's too many steps. I'm just going to keep this my b side, okay? And I am going to move my negative 7b to the right-hand side. So I'm going to add 7b there. That cancels. I'm left with negative 14 equals negative 9 plus 7. I have more negatives than I do have positives, so my answer is going to be negative. And 9 is greater than 7 by 2, so it's going to be negative 2b equals negative 14. Now it's a one-step equation. I need to undo that multiplication between my negative 2 and my b. So I'm going to divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. Remember, when they have the same sign, my answer is positive on multiplication and division. So my 2's cancel. I'm left with b equals negative 14 divided by negative 2 is a positive 7.